the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that the living entities, the spirit soul, the Atma, is his amsha. Mamaiv amsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. And Prabhupada explains that how, as amsha of the Lord, we are qualitatively same as that of Lord. Prabhupada gives an example of how a drop of water in sea has the same characteristics that of the entire sea or the entire ocean. But quantitatively we are different. A drop of water is very minuscule compared to the entire ocean. So being amsha of the Lord, qualitatively we are one with the Lord, and we also are Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means full of knowledge, and Ananda blissful. And these amshas of the Lord in the spiritual world, in the association of the Lord, are blissfully engaged in the service of the Lord. In the spiritual world, the Lord is the center. There is no aham. There is pure love. And everyone is engaged in serving others. A devotee may engage in serving other devotees, but keeping Lord in the center. So there the mentality is, pehle aap, your service, your seva. Enabling others to serve Krishna. Directly or indirectly, everyone is engaged in serving the Supreme Lord, in glorifying the Supreme Lord. But that amsha of the Lord, when he develops an ichha, we have a free will, we have a power to choose. Krishna has given us the free will. So when that amsha desires ichha, what is that ichha? Desires to be glorified, to be served, to be the center of attraction, to be famous. In other words, take the position of the Lord. Now to fulfill that desire, some souls cannot be forced to serve that jiva who has developed that desire. Just like in the material world, when some souls rebel against the established law, when they don't want to abide by the law, when they don't want to go by the overall scheme of things, the way things have been planned, and if he violates that law, violates that arrangement, if he rebels against the law or against the government, then the government is forced to make a prison house. Why prison house? Government can always isolate such people who have violated the laws, who are criminals, who have committed some crime, who have rebelled against the government, who are not willing to abide by the laws. They can put them in a line and shoot them. But the government wants to give them an opportunity to reform. Yes, that mentality has come, criminal mentality has arisen. A person who is a law-abiding citizen has committed a crime. Now rather than just shooting him, let's give an opportunity to reform him of his criminal mentality. So what does the government do? Government invests money, invests energy in building a prison house. Because this is a necessity. There are some citizens who will break the laws. In other words, who will commit a crime. To reform them, a prison house is made. So likewise, the original crime, ichha, I want to be the Lord. I want to not follow the law, be the law myself. When the ichha comes, then that soul, a rebellious soul, is put in this material world. And it loses its, when it comes to this material world, the original quality of the living entity, which is Sat, Chit, Ananda, which is eternal, Chit, knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of the understanding of the self. Understanding that I am Amsha of Krishna. understanding that I am servant of Krishna, understanding of Krishna, Chit and Ananda, blissfully engaged in that service, constitutional position. So the living entity comes in this material world. So somebody may wonder, are we all prisoners? Just like, when we see some prisoners in some prison, we say, these are all criminals. Criminal is not a very, in that sense, respected. That somebody is a dacoit, somebody has committed a murder. When suppose sometimes go to a prison for preaching or some other thing, we see, oh, these are all criminals. So are we also criminals? Yes, in that sense, we also are criminals. The crime what we have committed is we have rebelled against the Lord. The Lord, who is the center of attraction, who is to be glorified, who is to be served, we want to take that position. Somebody doesn't want to follow the Lord, but I don't care. Law by himself. So this material world is created where an opportunity is given to such rebellious soul to reform.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome, all of you. So, all of you would have seen this very nice, instructive video by His Grace Amitashan Prabhu, the President of Jaipur Temple. So many points Prabhu raised and clarified that how we came here into this material world, what was the need for the law to create this world. Because in other class, I was describing that this material world is compared to 5 things. What are those 5 things? Can anybody write in the chat box? Before we write, let us chant prayers and then we'll go into a discussion. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I had in other class described that how this material world is compared to 5 things. What are those 5 things? Can anybody help me to recall? The first one was Samsara Davanal. This material world is called forest fire, where everybody is afflicted. Just like somewhere if there is forest fire. Generally in America, like, there are many places there in America, there are forests. So in those forests, naturally by its own, there is forest fire. And then in that forest, if the entities, the animals they are living, they become afflicted and they run from there in order to protect their life. So the first point, that this material world is a place of miseries, forest fire, and everybody is afflicted. Any other point? Second point, forest fire. Then second one is prison house, which was described by Prabhu in today's class. Prabhu explained that this material world is a prison house, and very nicely explained that just like here in this world also, government government builds prison house. Then why is the, suppose any township is coming in any city, in Mumbai, Delhi, any township is coming, so in that township there will be a prison house also. Why? Because government understands that there will be the citizens who will not abide by the laws of the government. So for such people, there must be a place where they can be reformed, they can be rectified by following some process. So therefore, to reform them, therefore in the jail, if you go, you will not see that it is written jail. It will be written reformatory center, because criminal mentality has to be reformed. You cannot kill them, but mentality has become criminal, demon. So that mentality, if you reform, then he becomes normal person, law-abiding citizen. So like government makes a prison house, even though government is not interested to invest so much of money, but government has to make. In the same way, this world, material world, is also compared to prison house. We are all criminals, we all have committed crimes, and therefore we are sent here, we are captured here into this prison house called material world. So this is second understanding. So now anybody will ask, what is the what is the criminal act we have committed? So the criminal act which we have committed in spiritual world was that we developed a desire to enjoy independent of Krishna. We wanted to become the center of attraction. We wanted to boss over others. We wanted to gratify our senses. Ultimately, we wanted to take the position of Krishna, because all these things are for Krishna. Krishna is the Lord. Krishna is the center of attraction. Krishna is the all attractive. Krishna is Krishna can boss over others, no, because he is the Lord, and all these qualities are for Krishna. It is meant for Krishna, but when artificially we try to take these positions of Krishna, then we are sent to this material world, because these mentality, what we are developing is criminal mentality. So therefore, Krishna sends. Okay, you want to become the Lord, you want to become Krishna, you want to take my position. Anyway, you go into the material world and enjoy like anything. You become the center of attraction. You be glorified. You be the Lord. As many years as you can, millions and millions of years there, you be there and enjoy. But be rest assured, that is much against your constitutional position. So therefore, you will not be able to enjoy, because your position is to be with me and serve me, and that's how you can enjoy. And just like a leaf, a branches of the tree, how leaves and branches, they are nourished and satisfied. If independently they are cut and separated from the tree, can these leaves and branches be nourished and remain green? No, they will get dried up. Yes or no? As long as the twigs and branches, leaves are connected to the tree, and root is getting watered, all the manures, all the fertilizers are, we are putting in the root, and then root will take and supply to all the branches, and naturally all the branches will be satisfied. This is called the constitutional position of the leaves and branches, twigs of the tree. In the same way, our position is also like we are parts and parcels of Krishna. As Krishna, what we are discussing in our Bhagavad Gita class, today we'll be ending that portion where Krishna is describing about soul, qualities of soul, different characteristics of the soul, nature of the soul, what is, so whether soul can be killed, whether soul can be burned by fire or moistened by air. So all these things Krishna is describing. Today we'll be finishing that section. So all these qualities Krishna has explained, that naturally soul is part and parcel of mind. So that is our constitutional position. So we'll be happy when we serve Krishna, because Krishna is the root. Krishna is cause of all causes. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So when we serve Krishna, we become happy. But if we develop unconstitutional desire, then Krishna sends us here into this material world, that go here and enjoy. Like now all the colleges, freshers have come in the college, they have landed. So all the colleges, they are celebrating what? Fresher party. Every college. And in that fresher party, what is the current trend going on? Some singer will be called, or some students will prepare, they will dance on the stage, all the rowdy steps, and all those animalistic step they will be doing on the stage, and students will be cheering and glorifying, and that is their enjoyment. Drinking and dancing, this is their enjoyment. This enjoyment animal also are enjoying without drinking. Once you get drunk, you are not in your consciousness, you are completely in different consciousness, uncontrolled, and then you are doing anything and everything in order to enjoy this so-called material enjoyment. But this material enjoyment animals are naturally enjoying without any struggle. So we have not yet understood what is actual enjoyment which we can have in material, our this human form of life. So therefore, in the name of enjoyment, we are again dabbling there only where animals are dabbling. Where animals are going and enjoying, there we are also going and enjoying. Same activity. Activity is the same, maybe more refined and complicated and complex manner. And स्टेज लगा के बहुत ही अच्छे सजा के सारे चीज लाखों रुपए खर्च करके, but activity is the same. So this is what we are trying to become. We are trying to become the Lord. But Krishna said, rest assured, you are not going to be happy because this is against your constitutional position. Your constitutional position is, I hope you are able to understand constitutional position. Constitutional means just like this finger. The constitutional position of this finger is to be with this hand. If you cut this finger and put it somewhere else, kahin aur laga do, so this finger will not be happy and satisfied. The position of the finger is to be here only, at this position. Then only finger can get all kinds of nourishment, and it can remain happy and satisfied, and it can get all the energies. In the same way, we are also constitutionally part and parcel of Krishna. We are meant to serve Krishna. It's like fingers are meant to serve the stomach. Mouth is meant to serve the stomach. Whatever you take, put into the mouth, and mouth should give this food to the stomach. And the business of the stomach is to supply all the energies to all the limbs. In the same way, we are also connected with Krishna. That is our constitutional position. So when we serve Krishna, we naturally get all the enjoyment. Being parts and parcels of Krishna, eternally spiritual sparked. And so this is second point, prison house. We are into prison house because we have committed crime in the spiritual world. Okay, so this is second. Third point. What is third point? Anybody? So third point was this material world is compared with desert. Just like in the desert, it appears that there is water. In far distance, there is water, but we approach that reservoir of water. And then when we approach the reservoir, we realize that water reservoir has also shifted for same distance. And it is going on shifting. So that is called illusion or mirage. It appears that there is ocean of water, but actually there is no water. That is called mirage. In the same way, here in this material world, it appears and there is great hope. Hope is there, very high hope that if I do this, I'll be happy. If I do this, I'll be happy. If I'll do this, I'll be happy. In this hope of happiness, we are mad after achieving things, but never there is a point where you can achieve and say, now I am relaxed and I am satisfied, contented. My heart is now fully satisfied. There is never a point where you can say like this, because there is hope. Hope is very high, but happiness is not there. Just like in the desert. This is third. Anything else? Any other point? Prison house, forest fire, desert, and fourth one is dream. This material world is dream world. Dream world. We are here just like in the dream. We experience so many things. We have our life, we have our relationship, everything is there. But when dream is broken, everything is finished. In the dream, when you are there, dream is reality. But when you are out of the dream, dream becomes dream. In the same way, this life which we are leading, this is also dream, because at any time it can be finished. At any time, all the relationship can be cut off. It can be broken off. But because we are the part of this dream, so we are not able to realize that this is the dream. But when you are once out of this dream, then you will realize, oh, ये तो dream था. है ना, ड्रीम तभी पता चलता है जब आप ड्रीम से बाहर हैं, तभी आपको पता चलेगा ये ड्रीम है. ड्रीम में आप रहेंगे तो आपको पता बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगा कि मैं ड्रीम में हूँ. वैसे ये भी जो लाइफ हम लोग जी रहे हैं ना, हमें पूरा कन्विंस्ड है हम लोग कि ये रियल है, बट एक्चुअली में ये ड्रीम है. बिकॉज कैसे पता चलता है? भगवद गीता जब हम पढ़ते हैं, भागवतम पढ़ते हैं, कृष्णा को सुनते हैं, आचार्यों को सुनते हैं, तो फिर उनसे हम सुनते हैं तो बताते हैं अभी आप ड्रीमी लाइफ में हो, ड्रीमी कॉन्शियसनेस है आपकी. इसलिए आप रात को सोते हैं तो आपकी कॉन्शियसनेस ड्रीमी कॉन्शियसनेस है, और जो भी एक्सपीरियंस ले रहे हैं आप वो टेम्परेरी है और ड्रीम एक्सपीरियंस है. वैसे ये जो हम लोग एक्सपीरियंस ले रहे हैं ड्रीमी एक्सपीरियंस, ये रियल एक्सपीरियंस नहीं। सो दिस इज द फोर्थ पॉइंट. So let us recall. First one is samsara davanal. This world is forest fire where everything is afflicted, everybody is afflicted. Second one is this world is prison house. We have committed crimes and therefore we are put here into this material world and suffering. So business of us to go back to satisfy, purify our mentality, pure our, do all kinds of activity and pure this mentality. How to pure it? By developing Krishna consciousness. Develop Krishna consciousness and purify this mentality and go back to Krishna. And so this material world is prison house. Then desert. This material world is compared with desert. Then dream world. This material world is dream world. This is not the real world. Then any other point which we had described other class? So fifth one is assignment for all of you. You think over it. What is the fifth point? And in the next class we'll discuss. Now let us finish our remaining verses of this section where Krishna is going on describing different characteristics of the soul. Quickly, in next 7 to 8 minutes we'll be finishing. Ninth verse we'll be taking today. Okay, so 29th verse. Very nice verse, beautiful verse. Krishna is saying, Ashyaryavad pashyati kashchidenam, Ashyaryavad vadati tathaiva chanyah, Ashyaryavad chainam anyah shrunoti, Shrutvapi enam vedana chaiva kaschit. Meaning, some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Means soul is very amazing. Somebody describes it as amazing, somebody hears of him as amazing, but while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand at all. Why soul is amazing? Because Prabhupada is writing. Who will read this? I want some of you to participate in reading. 3 paragraphs we have today to read. So who will desire to read today? This first paragraph, can anybody read? Dheeraj, yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. The fact that atomic soul is within the body of Gagnetics animal, in the body of Gagnetics banyan trees, and also in the microbic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space, is certainly very amazing. Man with a poor fund of knowledge and men who are nor stir cannot understand the wonders of the individual's atomic sparks of spirits, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge who imparted lessons even to Brahma, the first living beings in the universe.
हो गया?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so here, if you would have read it attentively, then Prabhupada is writing that soul is so amazing that it is there in the body of gigantic elephant, banyan tree, gigantic animals. Soul, same, that small soul. What is the size of the soul? By the way, anybody can write in the chat box we have already discussed about size of the soul. You can write in the chat box. So 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair, not 100, but 10,000. 1/10,000 part of tip of hair. Sign arrays, Kirti, they are writing 1/100, but actually 1/10,000 part of the tip of hair. You take tip of the hair and divide into 100 parts, and then again take one part and again divide into 100 parts, then it becomes 1/10,000 part of the tip of hair. That is the size of soul. Now you see, soul is so very small, but how amazing it is that it is moving such a huge gigantic body of an elephant, or gigantic body of big whales, or animals which are there in the water, and banyan tree, small soul. So that's how it is very amazing. And that same soul, it is there in the microscopic animals and worms, germs. इसे प्रभुपाद लिख रहे हैं कि microbic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space. 1 इंच में millions and billions microbes आ जाते हैं, है ना? लेकिन in that body also soul is present. So that's how soul is very, very amazing. But we cannot see it, we cannot understand it by our logic. So how to understand it? By hearing from the authority, great authority. कृष्णा से सुन के ही हम समझ सकते हैं. Otherwise we can never ever, by experimental understanding, experimental knowledge, we can never do research and find out here is the soul. No. Okay, next who will read illusion? यहाँ से.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matter for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand the question of self-understanding. Even though it is a fact that without this self-understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat in the struggle for existence. Perhaps one has no idea that one must think of the soul and also make a solution of the material miseries.
Very good, very nice. So here Prabhupada is writing that very important point. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matter for sense gratification that they have little time to understand the question of self-understanding. Just see, such a powerful line Prabhupada is writing. Even though it is fact that without this self-understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat. All the activities are ultimately defeated. Para bhavastavad abodh jatah. Lord Rishabdeva, he says in Bhagavatam, 5th canto, Para bhavastavad abodh jatah yavanna jigyasata atma tattvan yavat kriyastavad idam manove karmatmakam yena sarira bandha. We are suffering here into this body, every moment there is threat. ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, this problem, that problem, mental problem, physical problem, all kinds of problems. There is always threat going on. Struggle of existence is always there, but still we are relaxed here. We are not doing any inquiry. क्यों हो रहा है ऐसा? Why we are suffering? There is no inquiry because we are all illusioned by the material energy. First line. And we are so engrossed by this material energy, illusion created by material energy, that we are, हमें केवल सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन ही दिख रहा है. सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन के अलावा कुछ दिखता ही नहीं हमें. कहीं भी जाते हैं हमें दिखता है क्या? सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन. यहाँ सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन कर लें, वहां कर लें, जहां जाते हैं वहां पर हमें क्या दिखता है? ओनली सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन. बट इतना सालों से हम करते हैं, 20 साल से हमने कर लिया, हमें संतुष्टि नहीं मिली, फिर भी हमारा दिमाग नहीं खुला कि यार सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन करके कुछ हुआ तो है नहीं, सफरिंग ऊपर से और आ रही, फ्रस्ट्रेशन और आ रहा है. सो क्या करना फिर? व्हाट एल्स? इज देयर एनी समथिंग हायर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ लाइफ? ये इंक्वायरी नहीं आती बिकॉज वी आर इल्यूजन बाय मटेरियल एनर्जी. ओके, नेक्स्ट, लास्ट, who will read this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understands the position of the soul, the super soul, the atomic soul, their respective functions, relationships, and all other major and minor details. And it is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from knowledge of the soul and who is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects. But if somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful. The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of self, however, is to accept the statements of Bhagavad Gita spoken by the greatest authority, Lord Krishna, without being debated by other theories.
Yes. So we have to understand about the spirit soul from Krishna directly. Now next verse, 30th last verse of soul section. Now after 30 this verse, Krishna will be going forward to another topic. So what is the translation? O descendant of Bharat, he who dwells in the body is eternal and can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any creature. This is the concluding verse of Krishna. Finally, Krishna is concluding that body is eternal. Body is who dwells in the body is eternal. Means soul is eternal and his body is temporary. So this I'll read by myself. On the authority of Sri Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body, not that there is no such thing as soul. So on the authority of Krishna, we must accept that there is soul, we are not the body, we are a spirit soul. Or that living symptoms develop at certain stage of material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals. There are many people, they conclude that actually we are chemicals, life symptoms are coming by chemical combination. Given this theory is given by some foolish, unscrupulous scientists, but actually this is not the fact. Prabhupada challenged also. If you say that we are merely chemical combination, and when the reaction gets stopped, our life symptom goes away. So when a person dies, you tell me what are those composition which has stopped working. I will bring all those composition and you again inject in the body and make this body alive. Prabhupada challenged openly, but doctors, philosophers, scientists, they say we are trying. It's like giving a post-dated check without writing the date also. So this is the hawks, this is the cheating going on. They don't have any clear understanding. Perhaps maybe in this state, using these words, they are giving their knowledge. Perhaps maybe we may do research and find out, yes, we are actually from chemicals. In next 30-40 years, we are still trying. Since 1970, when Prabhupada was there, since then only they are trying. Even today, they are to keep trying only. But they will not accept the understanding of the soul. They will read Bhagavad Gita, but they will not accept the soul. You see how foolish they are. So the soul is immortal. Violence is not encouraged, but at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is actual need of it. So here finally Krishna concluded that we are a spirit soul. We are not this body. We don't die. We are immortal. But it doesn't mean that we go and indulge into killing, violence. No, violence is necessary action, but it should be authorized by higher authority. Like Prabhupada is our authority. So when it is authorized, then we can indulge into violence. Otherwise, we should not necessarily kill the people. Okay, so with this, we'll stop today. If you have any question, and now this is how we have completed the section of soul. In this section, from verse number 11 to verse number 30, Krishna went on describing about different qualities, characteristics, nature of the soul, and that's how Krishna finally established that we are a spirit soul beyond this body. Our consciousness is spiritual. We are not matter. So we should try ourselves to get out of this material world and go back to spiritual world. So this is the understanding. Finally, यहाँ तक अगर समझ लिए, ये सोल वाला सेक्शन समझ लिए, तो अब आगे आने वाले डिस्कशन समझ में आएंगे, अदरवाइज समझ में नहीं आएंगे. So with this, now we'll also conclude. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So 4 points we have discussed today, which are designated to this material world. 5th one is there. I have given the assignment. All of you can think over it. What is that 5th point which is designated to this material world? And then we'll continue the next topic from tomorrow. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. कोई किसी को कुछ पूछना है तो आप रुक सकते हैं, otherwise you can continue.